Alright, so quickly we're just going to go over a little Halloween safety update. So tonight, obviously, is Halloween, so it's typically one of our busiest nights of the year, right up there with Canada Day and New Year's Eve. We'll again have extra officers working to ensure that Halloween's a safe holiday and fun for everyone to enjoy. Now, drivers are reminded to plan ahead and not drink and drive. And the roads are going to be full of kids that are trick-or-treating, and extra care is required to ensure that everybody makes it home safely. Parents, ensure that your kids' costumes are bright enough to be seen by traffic, or carry flashlights and glow sticks. Also a reminder to leave the plastic swords and fake guns at home. We've already received a call today about a man walking around with a machine gun, a fake weapon that posed a risk to the public and to the officers, and we take these calls very seriously. Finally, there's no such thing as a harmless prank. Do not hesitate to contact police if you observe any suspicious behavior in your neighborhood. So I have a weekend update. It was a very busy weekend leading up to Halloween with a significantly higher call volume than normal. It began Friday nights when our officers were held over to keep tabs on the decentralized dance party. Almost 2,000 people converged on downtown and made their way through city streets. The group consisted mainly of UVic and Camosun students, with word of the party spreading through social media. The party was disbanded by police around 10:30 p.m. at the derelict Hudson Bay Parkade out of security concerns for the Revelers. The event was largely incident-free, and organizers were cooperative with police. However, later that night we had to deploy the Marine Response Unit for one of the partiers who fell in the water near Ship's Point. She was heavily intoxicated and treated by paramedics on the scene. Alcohol certainly was a contributing factor throughout the weekend, and police responded to numerous fights, disturbances, and loud house parties. On Saturday, VicPD had a full complement of late-night, great-night officers working to complement our patrol officers. They were working the bars and clubs, which were especially at capacity, as people from across the region began flooding downtown. Buses were packed with students, and long waits were reported, especially along the UVic corridor. We fielded over 100 calls for service between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. A typical 24-hour day results in about 150 calls for service. So it was a very busy weekend and certainly stretched the resources to handle the influx of all the partiers downtown.
That woman falling off Ship here happened about 8:30 on Friday evening, and I'm not sure it was connected to the decentralized, because I was at the decentralized dance party when the call went out, but it may have been somebody headed that way. But the staff started downplayed the woman falling off the pier.
Well, that was our information, that she was somehow related to the decentralized dance party. So.
Was there mental issues involved with her that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So with this very busy weekend, do we have a number of arrests or charges?
No, I don't have a tally, no. All right, we made a pair of arrests after violent assaults downtown this weekend. So 2 arrests and 2 separate violent assaults over the weekend. On Saturday night, a 20-year-old Esquimalt man was picked up following an assault at a downtown bus stop. The 20-year-old man attacked a man in his 50s who was waiting for the bus at Douglas and Yates Street. The 2 men fought on the ground, and the older man was kneed in the chest. The fight preceded the bus's arrival. The bus driver phoned 911 after the victim entered the rear of the bus and collapsed on the floor. The assailant also entered the bus and was seated in the back when police arrived. He was arrested without incident. Both men have been drinking, but what precipitated the attack is still unknown. The 20-year-old man faces a charge of assault causing bodily harm and released on a promise to appear for December 8th. The victim was taken to hospital, and doctors believe he cracked several ribs. Then, on Sunday, a 29-year-old man was arrested following an assault with a bike chain. This assault took place at approximately 12:15 p.m. near Reeson Park. 2 men got in an argument and a fight broke out. One of the men, the 29-year-old, pulled out a bike chain and whipped the other across the face. The The victim dropped to the ground, and then the beating continued. A witness did intervene, and the assailant fled the scene. The witness described the attack as so severe that he feared for the victim's life. The assailant was arrested by responding officers in the 500 block of Fort Street. He's well known to police and is facing charges of aggravated assault and possession of a dangerous weapon. He's due to make a court appearance today. The victim, a man in his 50s, was covered in blood and had serious facial injuries. He was taken to Royal Jubilee Hospital and later released. Police are applauding the witness's intervention, which likely prevented what could have been far worse injuries.
In both of these assaults, do we believe our suspects knew our victims?
In the first one at the bus stop, they were unrelated. We don't have any information that they knew each other. And in the second one, I'm not quite sure if there's a relation or not.
So what do police think about civilians intervening in something like the guy with the bike chain?
Well, this witness didn't jump in and try to wrestle this away from. He got close enough to yell at the person who was attacking that he was going to call the police, and that was enough to scare this guy off. So then he did call us, and we were able to come down and make that arrest.
Is bike chain considered a weapon in this case?
Certainly is. Yeah.
And sorry, no name on either of these guys because we're still waiting for charge approval?
Right. Okay, that's about it from the weekend. Although I was busy, most of the stuff was house parties and disturbances and things like that, so.
Any worse this year than past years?
Not typically. It typically is our busiest weekend, right? Especially if they span over like this one did with Halloween falling on the Monday. We saw that with Canada Day this year is at the end of the weekend, so it was sort of Saturday, so it certainly created a busy weekend for us.
When you have noisy house parties, how quickly does everybody disperse when you guys show up?
Well, sometimes they run out the back door, sometimes it's a long time to get them to get the party quiet. So it totally depends, it's case by case.
So why was the decentralized dance party broken up at the parkade? Is that something about a safety issue?
Yeah, well, the parkade's not lit. Okay. There's construction material all throughout, and then the back part of that isn't fenced off, and it leads right down into that giant hole on the other end. Okay. Yeah.
Did they appear to obey the organizers' wishes of not drinking too much and being obnoxious and respectful other than that,
Well, they seem to be respectful when they're there, but intoxication was certainly rampant throughout there.
As it was, I guess, for most of downtown.
Yeah.
Did we respond to any calls at Centennial Square over the weekend?
Yeah, but I don't have specifics on them, Jenna. I know that we've been there over the last week for a few calls here and there. A lot of them originating actually from the campers. So it's kind of confusing for us, right? We get a call from the campers about unwanted people or people that are camping there and that aren't part of the movement. So it's confusing for the police when we go down there and have the people who are camping there illegally and protesting complaining about somebody else camping there. So kind of unsure what to make for that.
9/10 of the law or something.
Yeah.
We were here first?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, but yeah.
No rough number on how many times officers responded, say from Friday afternoon to this morning?
I don't have numbers of calls, but I know we've had officers that have been circulating, going through quite regularly.
Is it from the campers themselves, or is it from the security system, four-member security?
Calling us? No, they're originating with the campers themselves.
Do you have any current numbers on how many are there?
I don't know.
I counted about 60 tents on Friday, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know numbers.
It was hard to tell because there's a group under.
It's hard to know how many people are in the tents each.
Some of these tents really didn't look occupied.
Yeah.
It may just be an illusion.
Are there any fake tents that you're aware of?
I don't know.
And sorry, are you getting requests to remove people from the square who are causing problems?
From the campers? Is that, yes, that's what we're getting is calls from them. People who are coming down there and might be being obnoxious or using foul language was one of the calls that we received.
And so are you guys able to remove those people or no?
Well, it's a public space. If you're using foul language, there's no criminal element that goes along with that. There's not much we can do about that. But you can imagine our confusion when we get called down there by somebody who's illegally camping for somebody else who's in the square legally. So
We're in a hard place.
yeah, kind of is.